Hello guys, welcome to a Trading Parrot. In this general markets video, I'm gonna cover the dollar, gold, JPY, and the things that matter the most. We are still in pre-market prices, and we are already seeing a lot going on. This is how the market closed on Friday with Nvidia in negative, Amazon and Tesla. There's been a little bit of a flow into the other stocks, Magnificent 7 kind of stepping back. That could have happened due to some fears, a little bit more risk off. Let's have a look at this very quick and valuable summary. Tonight's price action summarize. Japan stock market record highs. Japan 30-year bond yields record highs. Gold record highs and Bitcoin record highs. Central banks have lost control of long-term rates as economic stimulus ramps up into rising inflation. You can see here gold hitting 46.46% up. The S&P 500 is 40% up 6 months. Gold is nearing $4,000 valuation. Bitcoin getting into a 2.5 trillion market cap. Meanwhile, the US dollar is set for its worst year since 1973. I want us to look at that multi-year support on the dollar because so far we could be getting a green week this week in continuation. The momentum is already to the upside on dollar. Japan just shocked the world. Sanae Takaichi is now prime minister, Japan's first ever female leader, and she's coming in swinging with huge stimulus plans. Take note of that. Markets are reaping and investors everywhere are bracing for what is coming next. Whereas on the other side, US stocks are underperforming the rest of the world by the largest margin since 2009. You can see it in here. Lagging US equity gains trail the rest of the world by the most. According to this chart, when US equities have trailed the rest of the world by 8% or more in a year, which has happened 8 times, they have also trailed in the following year 6 out of 8 times, with 2 exceptions, 2008 and 2010. So we got 6 out of 8 chances of a rebound. That's what I'm taking away from that. And Axel is noticing that the dollar index rose above 98 as investors assess the economic implications of the ongoing government shutdown. And just to keep an eye on other markets, we can see how the yields are opening in the green today. We got Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, and Greece all above 1% up. So let's start with the dollar on the chart. Remember, we have this falling wedge. We've been somehow on the bullish end for the short term. Talking about this multi-year support, so far we have this hive calling for multiple aggregations of oscillators with bullish divergences. And we got it the last time in 2021. We are getting one here in 2025 in August. Since around then, I've been calling for exiting from the top end of the falling wedge because it's a bullish pattern. And you can see that now we have a new high of RSI almost 45. We're getting into the median. The channel is to the downside. Let's see what happens once we get into resistance. But price is over 98.4. Guys, we pinched $96 below the support. We reclaim all the way to 98.5. If we get very close to $100, I will say I'm done with my conservative target. If we hold that level, we could form a double bottom right at support. That could bring the dollar way higher than just $100, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Gold at all-time highs, again getting very close to $4,000. It has closed the week at my resistance of 79.47, and intra-candle we are witnessing a breakout from 80 level of RSI on the weekly, and on the monthly over 90. We're getting very close to 91 RSI on monthly. That is something that we do not see very frequently, but it has happened in the past. Many of those times we got multi-year of consolidation right after that, but many other years we continue slightly higher. VIX continues week after week battling with the 21 weekly moving average. I still think that there is an expansion coming in here. I repeat that every video because it's probably the most important watch out yellow warning sign that we can keep in the back of our heads. Nasdaq seems to be opening slightly below Friday. We closed at 785. Now we are at 77. And the S&P is looking like opening in the positive at $671. Let's have a look at the Nikkei. After all those news, we bounced off support in here. We were intra-candle breaking down. We observed that, but we didn't break down this time. We left a gap here at 46. We are trading at 48 with highs of almost 49. Notice that this is a huge double bottom. Of course, this is a late call, but I just want to see from the neckline if we did the technical target, how high can we get? And that is around 54,000 at the moment. Interesting that after all these bearish divergences and the rolling over, after we got new leadership in Japan, we got this massive jump. Notice as well the correlation with Bitcoin. The double tops in here of Japan are the double tops of Bitcoin. In here we got kind of a double top as well that slowed down Bitcoin for 9 months. Then Japan found a double bottom in here and we resumed the uptrend. Japan 10-year yield is now potentially breaking out from a bearish pattern, which is crazy. You can see it in here within an ascending wedge and exiting from the top. With this sort of rally on the Nikkei, if we get a blow of top on the Nikkei, be more than sure that Bitcoin is also going to puke, okay? Just the same way that this can bring a lot of upside for Bitcoin. But once this guy finds a top and breaks this line significantly, we will be covering that in this channel to make sure that we take note, not just for Bitcoin, but pretty much for all the stocks that are here. If you look on the 12th of August, what the Nikkei did, you're gonna see all this sideways also applying to the Magnificent Seven. Nvidia did all of this, so take it serious. Even resuming for Nvidia, it's in line with whatever happens in here with the Nikkei. Let's look at some news. What happens in the past 24 hours? The US blackout is still a thing, now shaping jobs day. BLS payrolls and weekly claims not released. Markets leaning on private alternative data that happened on Friday. We couldn't get that. That's bullish 6 out of 10 because it affects the CAT odds. The US services cool. ISM services growth slowed and prices paid ticked up. This is 4 out of 10 because it means sticky inflation versus growth. Senate fails to pass a stop gap. The shutdown persists. There's an ongoing battle on whether to keep or not the shutdown. This is neutral to bullish. You can pause the video and have a look at the previous things and the less important things. If you want to trade general markets, consider opening an account on VT markets. You can get 100% welcome bonus, 20% if it's over $1,000 deposit. You can deposit in crypto and start trading immediately, Forex and everything. Talking about Forex, you can see the JPY against the dollar, how it's gaining strength around this area. There's a neckline at 150 with resistance clearly there, having been rejected 3 times in a row, but there has been tons of shorts that now are assessing the possibility that they're gonna have to be taken out by the longs. This is thanks to the good news coming in Japan, and I think it's doable that in the next upcoming days JPY can hit up to 153, taking down all those shorts. Remember that gold is getting very close to the next levels of liquidity. We are talking about 2 particular levels. The one that is closer to the price is at around 4,038, and the question is what happens after we hit that, whether we are gonna do some sort of pullback, a symmetrical triangle like this one, or if we are gonna carry on all the way into 4,383, which is where we end with the next liquidity pool. After that, we do not have major pulls. I suspect that if we produce any bull flag, symmetrical triangle, any pattern similar to these ones, then we start forming them. These ones were formed right at the end of the symmetrical triangle, and price decided to chase this instead of the ones on the lower end. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to have a look at VT markets. The link is in the description. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.